What's up, Cloud Gamers? Welcome to another episode of CGX. This is episode 38. We have members of the Stadia Bash community here, so this is going to be a good one. So much to talk about. So, a lot of exciting news happening. I just want to first say sorry for being a little late, y'all. Just working on some stuff in the background, but we're good to go. So again, this is the first time we are having multiple guests on this podcast. We've never tried this, but I think this would be good to have these guys in here as we talk about some cloud gaming news for the week. And just to give you guys a heads up, there's one more member who's not here who might pop in, and that's EJ Game. So when she has a new kiddo, she's got mommy duty, but when she's ready, you might see her pop in. But let's get into it, guys. This week, Stadia, right, had two announcements, if you want to call it that. So they had their Tuesday post, which was a little late, and then people were giving them a lot of hard time on Discord. But eventually, they released the news, and they told us Judgment was coming with another game. Then they had another announcement where they told us two more game Farm Simulator 2022, and another game was coming. So we'll kind of talk about those games. Geforce Now gave us 15 games this week. We'll have a discussion to see if those games are actually good and if anyone is actually going to play it. We're going to talk about xCloud, which I think they made the biggest noise this week with the official, it's now called Xbox Cloud Gaming app being released with Game Pass on PC and iOS. So we'll kind of talk about that as well. No new news with Luna, and we don't know a thing about Shadow. We'll find out more about them next week. But that's the cloud gaming news. We'll get into it. But first, let's introduce this panel. A lot of awesome people on here. Gamer TV, just a heads up. I know I told you guys he should be joining today, but that's going to be next week. But let's introduce this panel and see what games they're playing and what platform. So to get started, Ben, how are you, sir? What have you been playing? What platform have you been using to play those games?
Oh, me first. I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Let's see, what did I play this week? I had friends over for kind of hangout the other day, and we played Family Feud on Stadia. That was actually more fun than I thought it would be. First time I actually tried to play it at all, but playing it with a group of like 10 people and just like holding the controller at the same time to try and push the trigger to do the button push. That was fun. Outriders, of course. A little bit of a Ghost Recon Breakpoint on Stadia.
Okay. Sorry about my glasses, like signs, right? A lot of glass water, so I apologize for all that. But how is Family Feud? Because that game, from what I'm hearing, has not Stream Connect. It has what's that feature to where people can interact with your game as you stream? Crowd choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's only like limited to Twitch, right? Have you tried that on?
I haven't. I've only played it once, and it was with people in person.
Okay, yeah. So if you guys, I think it's quite interesting that it has that feature, but on Stadia, but it's limited to Twitch and not YouTube, which is quite interesting. But good. I'm glad you've been playing. I'm glad you've been enjoying it for sure. Let's check in with you, Duncan. How have you been? What have you been playing? What platform?
I've been playing everything again, and I've got the kiddos coming down the stairs. I've jumped into Cyberpunk on GFN for a bit there, playing it on the phone. First time I've actually played it on Mikishi, which is absolutely amazing, and that really, really surprised me how it was playing. And I said it a couple of times now, but I'm just going to reiterate. I think GFN for me has just came on leaps and bounds. For me, I was getting a couple of these the dodgy connections sort of things, and they are starting to go for me. I'm barely seeing them anymore, and I used to get them all the time, even though my connection's really good. So I don't know if there's something's going on in the background there. I've been playing also some F1 on Stadia as well, which is a bit of fun, as always, crashing into people and not knowing how to drive. And it's cloud gaming is just so much fun at this moment in time with all the things going on, and I'm in the frustration mode here because I haven't got the xCloud invite yet.
Ooh.
So I'm a bit annoyed about that.
Yeah, that stinks. Hopefully you guys get it. It is kind of annoying not knowing, right, who gets it or not, especially like people who've been insiders for quite some time. Cool. Good to see you, Duncan, for sure. Let's check in with. We'll wait. And hold up real quick. Do you like going by and your mama knows or Anthony? Like, I don't know what to call you these days.
You know what? It kind of doesn't matter, but everybody always leave out the now, so it's kind of funny. Cyborg's been doing it forever, but everybody would say and your mama knows. And I'm like, okay, whatever. But I was gonna put all-purpose champ, but then I was like, well, my brand isn't now your mama knows, but but it's cool when you guys we actually know each other to where I'm Anthony. So whatever, it's your choice.
All right, cool. So we'll get to you and Spectra in a bit, but let's we like to save the guests for last. Pretty much the best for last as well. But let's get into Jerry. What have you been up to, sir? And what have you been playing? What platform?
So MLB The Show and since yesterday, Judgment. For me, it's pretty much the only two games I've really spent much time with since we were here last week. So MLB The Show is actually a game that's good for my phone because I don't like gaming on small screens or mobile very much. But that game, because it's not like an FPS or first person, it's been fun. So I've been able to put a lot of time with xCloud or Xbox game streaming or whatever that's going to be called. But with the beta there for iOS, and it's been great to play that. And Judgment has been on my Series X and on Stadia both, just because I'm doing videos and comparing, and the game is just wow on both of those. Really, really, really good.
It's really impressive, that port for Stadia for sure. But when you're playing MLB, be real, are you able to hit anything? Is the lag an issue for you?
Okay, so I've been playing it on console as well, so like Series X and then xCloud, and I've adjusted to it because there is just enough latency in MLB that there are times, especially if I'm in an online match with somebody, that the latency is causing me to have to change a little bit, and I don't hit as many balls. If I'm on my Series X, it's a totally different story. No issues with latency there.
Okay.
So, and it also seems to depend on my session time. So like what time of day am I on, what's going on. It's not 100% consistent.
Okay. Good to know for sure. So Duncan, I did want to get back to you. You mentioned Cyberpunk and Geforce Now. Did you play it on Stadia?
Yes, I played it on Stadia, and I'm going to be one of the few people. I didn't think it was actually that great of a port. I didn't really get into the settings, but I thought it was very blurry and stuff like that. I haven't checked into it again because I think it was told afterwards to take off the blur on it. Yeah. It was actually making me sick in places. It was just so there. Yeah. But playing on GFN is a complete different experience, and I'm going to be giving that more of a blast during the week.
So I was going to let you, when I first played that game in the beginning, like the first, I would say 5 hours, it was a blur, and it was frustrating, but it's gone, right? So maybe you need to check it again, but I want to know when it comes to like RTX, right? The ray tracing on Geforce Now. How was that experience for you, seeing it right on Geforce Now and not seeing it in Stadia with Cyberpunk? How big of a difference is ray tracing make?
For me, I don't think it's worth the hit, and I'm going to be probably in the minority here. Hi, everybody. I would rather have my games looking. I think it's cool when it's implemented well. I think it looks really good, and I've played in a couple of games. I've played it on Spider-Man and other things where you can see it. But I then turn it off just to make sure I can get the 60 FPS and just play it that sort of way. I think it's going to be a next generation thing, in my opinion, for these, or the next bump up before we really see its full potential. If you're not playing on PC and you've got the super duper cards like I know all you guys have.
Makes sense. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, let's check in with Hell Monkey, sir. How are you? What have you been playing? Took a little vacation. Good to see you back, sir. Just let the people know how you been, what platform, what game.
This is a really easy one for me this week. I have played nothing. As you and Chief know, I had a little bit of some personal issues, so I took advantage of my time away and I just stayed off everything. I stayed off gaming, I stayed off social media, and to be quite honest, it was a fantastic couple of days once I sorted things out. Just getting away from everything for a bit of time. But yeah, as of this week, that Judgment video that you put out is looking really good, and I think even having not played any of the Yakuza series, I think I'm gonna cop that on Stadia next month and have a go at it.
Yeah, the game is incredible. It's really impressive port for sure. But good to have you back, man.
Thank you, man.
Missed you for quite some time, dear. Cool. All right, let's check in with Spectra. How are you, sir? Again, saving the best for last, man. With Anthony down there, saving
Thank you.
that. But Spectra, how are you, sir? What you been up to? Sorry, and what game?
I'm good. I finally actually just been a lot of work, but last week was the last day of me waking up at 4 a.m. So, but I have been playing SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom and Outriders on Stadia.
Great games, man. Great games.
Yeah.
Tell me more about the 4 a.m. Why so early for you?
Oh, it's I started a new job. I work in like a healthcare setting, so the people I reported to was from East Coast, as I live in West Coast, so it was pretty rough. But yeah, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. to 2. Essentially, yeah.
Crazy. Wow, that's crazy. Well, good to have you on here, man. Good to have you on here for sure, and great games that you've been playing.
Dude, that SpongeBob game is way more fun than I thought it would be. Same thing with the Rain on Your Parade one on Game Pass. That one's a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thoroughly surprised. Yeah, I would enjoy it.
It's a platformer that is catching a lot of people by. If you guys haven't tried it, I'm telling you guys, go give it a shot for sure. So let's check in with Anthony, man. What have you been up to, sir? What have you been playing? What platform? And yeah, just.
Well, you guys saved me for last, but I've only actually been playing one game. My absolute favorite game, and I use it a lot with this whole argument and debate, what system, whatever. But I play Marvel Avengers. That's my game right now. Man. And they just had an update on Thursday. And so the Tachyon Rift. So it allows you to play, and I've been playing on Stadia, but it allows you to play any character. Like everybody, we got 4 Hulks now. We got 4 Iron Mans. And so that's been pretty cool. When I used to play Anthem, everybody who played Anthem always tried to create an Iron Man. Like that was the thing you did. Oh, I want to make an Iron Man because you could fly around, right? So now you actually have a game with Iron Man. It was so cool. When we played, we had 4 Iron Mans flying around and landing and shooting and blasting. So I've been having a blast with Marvel Avengers. Yeah. But that's pretty. I actually been it because I've been so into, and I've been doing so much content. I haven't been playing as much, but more every time I turn on my system, I play Marvel Avengers. Oh, and that's a lie. Last night, I jumped on Mortal Kombat because JD was streaming. He does a thing for Stadia Bash Community Network, Friday night fights, and he does it 1:00 a.m. at my time. And I'm a fighting game fan, and he was playing. I was like, don't call me out because I'm gonna jump in. And so I jumped in the stream, and I had to put the mittens to him a little bit, and then I jumped out. So, but those are the 2 games I played this week.
Dude, no spoilers, but that Mortal Kombat movie, I don't know if any of you guys saw it yet. That was better than I thought it would be.
So you know what's funny? My wife and I went to see it last night, but we've seen it at 10 our time, 10 p.m. And we both was tired. So we fell asleep in the movie. So we seen most of it. Well, we missed a big chunk, woke up, finished watching it, got in the car and was like, oh no. So then on HBO Max, we watched it, the whole thing this morning. I was like, oh, it wasn't that bad. So never say how you think a movie is if you didn't fully watch it. But yeah, I agree with you. No spoilers, but yeah, I was pleased.
If you like the lore of Mortal Kombat from all the games, it's a good movie to watch. There's a lot of like little hidden references all throughout the movie.
But then I also feel like they made certain changes, and if you're one of those diehard lures, then you might have an issue with it as well.
Yeah,
true.
So, the wife started watching it, and I feel so. Chase, I'm gonna blame Chase for this one, right? So the wife started watching it, and I hopped on. Chase had a late stream last night. Hopped on it and got carried away, man. So I was sitting here talking while the wife was watching it, and then I came back, and she got back at me by telling me everything that happened. So now I don't know if I want to watch it, but good stuff. So let me ask you a question, Ed. How many hours have you put into the Avengers? Because you've been playing that from the get-go, and it seems like that's like your go-to game every single time.
So I like game. So here's how gaming is for me. If you make a third person game, you add superpowers and you make it multiplayer, I'm all in. Okay. So Avengers literally, if you think of it, that does everything for me to be a good game. And I was such an Anthem fan, being that it was third person, multiplayer, superpowers, or at least shooting rockets and all that, right? Flying. So to have an IP of Marvel Avengers right now, Marvel Avengers is such a hot IP right now. When the game was coming out, I was like, man, and then I seen them flying, and even though people gave Anthem a hard time, I've always said the one thing Anthem did that no other game in history has done well was flying as a multiplayer, right? You could just run, jump in the air, and fly. Right. So knowing Avengers was going to do that, I hoped, oh, please let it be as good as Anthem or better. And it's better. And I played Anthem for a lot. So it's everything I want in the game. That's why I like it so much. And it's Marvel characters. I mean, I don't know, and so if people give it a chance, like now, there's so many people buying it that has been on sale. I know Cyborg was like, oh, that game's trash. Now he's like, dude, I love it. So many people I know is actually giving it a chance, and they're like, this game is actually good, especially the multiplayer. So
including me too.
Yeah.
Really
the day you bought it, two other people bought it that same day. I had one day 3 people inbox me and say, hey, dude, I got Marvel Avengers. We can play now. And I was like, he just told me. But I don't know how many hours I actually put in. Like, I just, when it first came out, I was playing like crazy.
I just checked. It's 204 hours and 29 minutes.
Wow.
That I've been playing, or you've been playing?
No, you.
Oh, wow. You can see my hours? That's cool. How'd you do that?
Yeah, you can see any of your friends' hours on your Stadia profile.
Don't look at mine, bro. I have 0 on those games going down.
I've got like 4 hours on Avengers.
I'm sure some people got a lot more hours than me. I play stuff for fun. What reason why Avengers is so good to me, before it came out, I made a video and I said, for me, what could kill Avengers is they try to do the regular loot route, right? So Destiny, you pretty much play Destiny, you pretty much play all these other loot games because you want to have the better weapon than somebody else, right? And you want to have something that stand out, and you want to have this outfit that nobody else have. And I said, please Square Enix, please whoever's actually developing it, whatever, please don't go that route, right? So what they did, and again, I made this video before the game came out, right? If you guys don't know, I made a Stadia Avengers channel. It caters only to people who play the Marvel Avengers on Stadia. Anyway, so the game came out, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like they just listened to me. Their progression system as far as loot is just to really boost up your character. Like, yeah, you might get something that shrink people with the PIM technology, but at the end of the day, you don't get loot that change the way you look. You just get loot to make yourself more powerful, right? And that's really it. So I'm like, man, for me, because I hate the crying, like, we'll play like a great mission on Destiny, right? For instance, and I'm gonna stop blabbling, right? And at the end of the mission, I'll be like, wow, that was so much fun. We beat that hard boss. It took us like 45 minutes. And then you had that guy like, but I didn't get loot, so it sucked. I was like, what you mean it sucked? The experience was awesome, but I didn't get the drop. And that bothers me. So in Marvel Avengers, I don't even care what's dropping because nothing changed on my character. The ability it give me is like, it's cool, but it just make me get more stronger. So, so that's why Marvel Avengers for me is like, I love it.
Yeah. Here's people complain, with Stadia you can't find online multiplayer, but I think the price for that game for just a single player campaign is good enough. I was playing the single player and it's like, man, the story is actually really good. It's really good. So if you just get it for the single player, it's good enough.
Or you could get it and join my Stadia Avengers Discord, join my Stadia Avengers Facebook group, join my Stadia Avengers Facebook chat. When the game came out, so somebody said to me, "Oh, when it comes out for Stadia, nobody's gonna be playing it." So what I did, I created a everywhere for something. So if you want people to play with, now granted, a lot of people stopped playing it since then, but more people is kicking up. So like if you see my Facebook group page, it's a bunch of new people joining like every day. So I mean, I feel like, yes, it sucks when you play a game that don't have people playing it, but I guarantee you, for any multiplayer game, there's a group somewhere. And if you really want people to play with, just go on Facebook or go somewhere and Google and search Stadia, whatever, these players. And it's going to be a group. And there's people in there it's people right now in my old Anthem group. Yeah, they shut off. They're not making more content. Those people, every day my thing is blown up. People are like, yo, guys, you playing? It's people playing it as if the game is alive and well. So when people say nobody's playing, trust me, go find a group, man.
Fair enough. Yeah, man. Again, you guys heard it here. If you guys are looking to find people to play Marvelous with on Stadia, just a Discord group for sure.
Sir.
All right, cool. Let's get into it, fellas. We got some stuff to talk about here, right? So Amazon Luna, really not much to talk about. So we're going to skip Luna for this week, unless if I'm missing something and one can hop on here. But let's get straight into GeForce Now. So you guys know 15 games was announced for the platform for this week. Just going to pause real quick because you guys know what I'm going to say next, right? All right, so let's list this game. Duncan, I was actually happy for you this week because a game that you were looking for, Turnip Boy commits tax evasion, it became a thing on this platform, right? But Anno 2070, we have Anno 2205, we have, man, I was trying to do this news video and the names for these games were absolutely insane, right? It was like Cardinalism, I don't know the heck. You had Chinese Paladin, Sword and Fairy, you had Darksiders, War Master Edition, Examiner, Port Royal 4, Rayman Legends, Skyborn, Torchlight, Warhammer 40,000. You have Worms Clan Wars, Yes Your Grace, and UP Psycho Executive Edition. Now, these are the 15 games. And then to add, you had 2 DLCs with Warhammer, Chaos 2 Waste, and then the Lost Gods DLC for Mortis Phoenix Rising. How do you guys rate this week for GeForce Now? We'll start off with Ben. We're gonna go again. You first this week with this one. Where do you rate these games coming to the GeForce Now platform?
I mean, it's nice to see them add more of the Anno games. They already had quite a few of them, but they were missing those 2.
Okay.
And Turnip Boy commits tax evasion. That actually looks pretty funny. I might actually have to try that one.
Really?
Yeah. Yes Your Grace. That one was last week as well with the Steam version.
Yeah.
So they just basically repeated it. Everybody loves Rayman, the Rayman games. So that's always a good choice. The others are just kind of to me. I know that they have like Torchlight and Darksiders, like they have like big followings, but they don't really interest me too much. So I'd say maybe like a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay, fair enough. Let's get to you, Anthony. What's your take on these games? This 15 games coming to GeForce Now platform.
Trash. No, sorry guys, I'm a little animated, so I'm gonna not be the average, still guy. Nah, man. Rayman Legends, that was a cool game like 8 years ago when I played and beat it. And returned it back to GameFly. But I don't want to get too hard on the games. But listen, you know me, guys. I'm the keeping it real guy. So I don't. I think this reminds me of like, you get the games, you might play it just to check it out. Do a first look. But what I like to do is rate them on my first impressions, right? So on 1 to 10 scale, will I play them again? Like, did I like them enough to come back to them? I'm not too familiar with any of those games, so I can't say because I never actually played them. But from the names and titles and the fact that I never heard of them, besides Rayman Legends and Darksiders War Master Edition. They're talking about the very first Darksiders, the very first one.
That's a remastered version of them.
Yeah. If we got to rate these games on a 1 to 10, they're probably gonna get a 4.
Oof. Okay.
No.
Well, you heard it there.
We also have to remember, GFN's a little bit different than the others because they're backfilling catalogs of games that most people already owned.
Right.
So they can go back and play them without having to like reinstall them on their computer.
Right.
That's kind of the different perspective that we don't really think about too much.
Yeah, and in that retrospect, again, to be honest, I'm not a PC guy. I was never a PC guy. I never owned a game on a PC. I bought a gaming laptop just so I could stream. I get your point. Like, hey, I've had these games and now I could actually play them through the cloud, which is amazing. I think if everybody could adopt that, so you could play an older game through the cloud. But these are all games I never even heard of, so never was ever on my radar. So that's why I have to rate them low, because I wouldn't get excited if I just looked at the list. If I joined GeForce Now like today, I was gonna say now, GeForce Now, and I seen these list of games like, oh look, Anthony, you just got a subscription today. Look what you could play. I'm like, what? So that's why I rate them low.
Okay, fair enough.
So real quick, so because I'm again not so knowledgeable, so would I still had to have owned these games? Meaning like they're not going to be free for me unless I actually owned them before.
Exactly.
Yep. Okay, so
you would have to pay for them. Yeah.
Right.
So GeForce Now is more of a PC gamers service or platform.
Yeah. Imagine you paying for Chinese Paladin, bro, just to play it in GeForce Now. Anyway, I'll get to my take here. But let's check in with Spectra. What's your take on these games, man?
I think these are pretty decent games. I haven't dove into Anno yet, but let me see. I do like the Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion though. I think that caught my attention right away. So that's a pretty interesting, funny title. Yeah, let's see. Cataclysm sounds pretty cool as well. I did a little quick search on that one, and it's like a procedurally generated game. It looks. I might give that a try, just because I played. I spent some time playing. What's like a Hearthstone for a little bit for a brief time, but. Yeah, I think they're pretty solid games. I mean, most of them are not my cup of tea, but they are pretty good from what I see.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Duncan? What's your take on these games? I'm playing this just for you, bro.
Yeah. Does that or does that not look awesome?
It does look awesome.
I think about this as well. This is something I like. If just imagine that these are just coming and you've never heard of these games before, they're coming on at a good price as well. We when I look at the games, when we take the price into consideration, and all of the games are coming in at that nice $10-15 sort of mark. Yes, for older titles. Overall, we'll keep it down the line here. I would give this a 5 or 6 this week. Out from 10. However, what it is worth noting here is the Epic Game Store games are making a hell of a comeback here. And if you look at them games, we're talking about free games. I've got a number of free games now I can play on GFN with Darksiders and what's the other one there? Torchlight, because they were Epic free games. That's why you should always claim your free games in the Epic Games Store, because you'll never know what will happen. So I've got more games now all I can play on GFN just because I've get that free game in Epic.
Okay, fair enough. So what would you rate in scale of 0 to 10?
It was between 5 and 6. I think it's just another solid week for GFN. You're not going to out from that list there. I would probably play Darksiders again, and of course, Turnip Boy. Come on, everybody has to get that. That is just amazing looking. But they're adding the games, and that's what you want. They're getting the library filled out there, and while the games are not going to be everybody's cup of tea, they are just filling it out there, and it's a catch-all sort of approach. They are just trying to fill it up as much as possible, so there'll be games for everybody to play. And I think we're going to get a number of these weeks where you're going to take it to the task, Ace, and say it's absolutely shocking, and then there's going to be like 3 or 4 weeks in a row they're going to be absolutely banging it out, and then it's going to go for a slump, and then they're going to go again. I just think that's the way it's going to be. For me, Darksiders War Master, absolutely brilliant because it's free, or was on free on Epic. I think I'm reasonably happy with that.
Could I counter Duncan real quick?
Sure.
So you said this, it's just me. See, this is what happens when I sit back and watch you guys and I never get to actually say anything because I'm just in the comments. How you say this is a solid week? At 15 games, you said you only played 2. And your rating was 5 to 6, but you used the term solid. Solid for me would be like a 8 or a 9. This is a solid week. I'm going to play like 10 of the 15 games. That doesn't even, that don't add up.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, it just don't add up. This is when I'm watching the show. That's what I would love to say when I'm in the comments.
I use the full scale. I use if it's a shocking week, I would give it a 1. I wouldn't go it's only a 4 or 5. For me, a 5 and a 6, it's okay. It's solid. It's keeping the thing ticking over. If I was going to give it 7 or 8 or 9, it's been a good or a great week. And if 10 out of 10, it's been absolutely outstanding. I'm not one of these people who use a catch-all. 7, 8 is solid for me. 5 or 6 solid, sort of okay. That is my sort of rating. Just to throw it back to you, if Stadia dropped off these 15 games, what would you be saying? It would be a great week for Stadia.
Listen, I beat Darksiders, which you're excited about, like how many years ago? I'm not playing that again. Why would I spend my time playing a game I beat a long time ago when I got other games to play? That would make no sense. If Stadia dropped these same games, they dropped these same games, this will get a 4. It would be the same thing. Listen, I like Stadia so much that I have to be critical on them. So I think if you like something a lot, you have to be critical. And sometimes you want to give it certain stuff a pass you like, but that's just like me. Now, you explained it properly. So solid to you, that's your word of solid. If I said solid, solid probably would have mean something different. So that's why I got to act. So when I'm watching as a fan of the show, and you say stuff like that, I'm always like, oh, nobody going to say nothing. Because it made no sense, but you explained it. And maybe these guys know your terminology better than me. So they're like, oh yeah, Duncan means a 5 or 6 when you say solid. But for me, I'm like, wait, what? But I appreciate you explaining that. I just had to ask. So.
And just to go back to Darksiders, I completed Darksiders on live many moons ago. I got me on live reference in there, so I'm happy.
There you go, cool. Jerry, let's get to you, sir. How would you rate these games, man?
I don't know if I want to go here, Ace. I don't know if
I'm sorry, man. Come on, I'm gonna calm down, man. Come on, man.
No, I always have the same opinion, and I'm probably one of the. I think this is probably why Ace has me here a lot of the time. I look at things differently.
For sure.
The news we go over, especially GeForce Now, this has nothing to do with what I'm gonna play, with what I think about this. This has to do with me always taking a step back as a brand of Game Tech Planet and looking at gaming as a whole, the entire community. We've got like 3 billion gamers on the planet now, and some over 1.5 billion of them are like hardcore PC players. GeForce Now caters to them and always has. I would call it about a 6 for the games as well. I would say if you are a cloud gamer and that is just about all you do, this is like a 3 week and it's nowhere near solid. I think if you are a PC gamer who has spent the last 10 to 20 years filling your Steam library and more recently your Epic library and grabbing free games when they're there, and you see games get announced for GeForce Now that all of a sudden are supported, I think you do think it's a solid week and that it's pretty good for you. So there's just so many different use cases and so many different consumers out there. We're going to have people that think it's a great week. We're going to have people that think it's not. More importantly than the games are the promises. So what I'm looking at is what all the companies are doing, what they're providing. Are they keeping their word? GeForce Now has kept their word. They've been improving the service. More improvements are coming. They've promised 10 to 15 games a week. Those games aren't going to make everybody happy every week, but there will be weeks that people who aren't are. They've done that. So as long as they aren't breaking promises, it tells me a lot of the vision behind everything, that when I hear that something's coming or I hear news from them, I believe it. So there's a lot to that, to the communication, to the keeping of promises. So while we get scrutinizing the games every single week and what's coming, dang, if any cloud gaming service is bringing games every single week, I'm pretty happy, even if those games aren't for me, because they might be for another guy who hasn't signed up yet. And just every one more person we get, even if it's Turnip Boy or even if it's playing War Mastered again for Darksiders, which the remaster is great, every person that we can get is great. So I'm just step back and take a look from a big picture. It's solid for PC players that have been around. It's not great for just cloud gamers, and I really want Kingdom Hearts to come to GFN. So we'll leave it at that.
Can I ask a quick question? Because I don't know. How long do games stay? Like, if you say they get games every week, how long do those games, do they land on the platform for that week and they stay forever, or do they have a certain time that they go away?
Indefinitely, unless a developer were to opt out, and that's with any cloud. A game could leave any service at any time because everybody's under contract because of streaming and digital rights distribution and all that. So all the cloud platforms could technically have an expiration of a game, but no, when they drop, they are meant to be indefinitely unless for some reason pulled.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's part of why GFN got so much hate last year, is because they added all these games without permission from the devs.
Yeah, I remember.
And then the devs were like, take them off, so they got, or we're gonna sue the crap out of you. So they got a lot of hate. They're trying to recover from that. They've been continually adding games and getting developers to opt back in to give them permission to add all those games.
Which is crazy, for a big company to just like not get, permission from devs to that just baffles my mind, man. But
NVIDIA leather jacket, you just do what you want.
Straight up.
All right, since everybody laughed, you guys are more PC than you think if you can laugh at the leather jacket joke.
We know who that is, right?
Yeah.
Sure. All right, so Hell Monkey, let's check in with you, sir. What are your thoughts on these games, man?
Yeah, like Darksiders, the remastered edition looks like I want to pick that up. I remember playing that originally, and to have it on the go in the cloud is brilliant. It's not a competitive game that you needs must on the frames, etc. And just reiterating Jerry's point, even though there's maybe only one or two in there for me, there is actually a very good variety this week of games. Yes, they're all games, and yes, people will say that, okay, Torchlight, and yes, your Grace is coming from a different storefront, but what if people out there only use Epic Games Store? What if they don't use Steam? Now they can play that on GFN, and again, I'm just sort of reiterating everything that Jerry says, but the more the merrier. Is basically is what we're looking for with GFN. They're continuing to grow, and look, if Stadia or xCloud turned around or Luna turned around last week and added 15 games, it would be a fantastic week. But for GFN, because we come to know and love that we get 10 to 15 games every week, as Duncan says, it's an average week. It's solid. It's what we've come to expect. There's nothing exceptional in there, but there isn't really any games out just now that maybe apart from your Judgment and your Kingdom Hearts that we are missing. But that's the things that I want to see more of. Because you guys, although Kingdom Hearts isn't my cup of tea, I know it's a lot of people's cup of tea, and that game would be really good for GeForce Now. And I think Judgment would be as well, but without it being on PC, we know that ain't going to happen right now. But when it does come to PC, I'm sure NVIDIA are going to want to bring that over to GeForce Now in some way or other.
Yeah, I hear you. Good take on that. So if you want my perspective of GeForce Now games for this week, I think y'all are all right on. I'm hearing 6, 5s, 4s. This was another week for GeForce Now, man. There's no other way to put it. 15 games. All right, so realistically speaking, right, let's talk about, again, quality over quantity, right? With all this 15 games that came out in GeForce Now this week, I'm not picking up one of them. But there's one game that came out on another platform, which I'm playing over these 15 games, right? So again, that is quality over quantity. And 15 games numbers, this was the game Stadia was playing last year, and y'all gave him a lot of flack for it. And I feel like the roles have reversed, right? Come next week, 2 weeks, Resident Evil 8 comes out for Stadia. I don't see Geforce Now again. Again, that's another quality. They might give us another 15 games then, but again, it's going to be quality over quantity. And so, Nvidia, man, you guys have got to start bringing some quality games to this platform, man. It's week 9 now, week 8 or week 9 of the weeks, man. I mean, like, for real? Are y'all look comfortable with this? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not liking it. Just being real, but that's my take.
What they need to do is get a good contract going with Activision and Capcom, because that's the big things that they're missing. I know both of those. Well, I know Activision is like anti-cloud gaming, and Capcom is not super friendly towards the cloud either.
Forget that though. Let's talk about Square Enix. They have a partnership with them. We already see Square Enix names in the platform.
I think we're going to be having an announcement in the next couple of weeks about Square Enix, if the rumors are to be believed, and they ain't going anywhere else but Xbox. There's meant to be a big Square Enix announcement coming from Xbox in the next couple of weeks.
I don't see how Xbox can get away with purchasing anything else.
No.
Everything just about
it would be like an EA Play type of partnership.
No, I'm not. It's more that it's not actually buying.
Okay?
They've got a number of games to announce. So,
like an EA Play thing.
Okay, so does that mean they're gonna have Kingdom Hearts and stuff like that? Is that so? Something we've seen, right? When one game is available for a cloud platform, the other platform doesn't get. Is that kind of what we're going to see?
I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to start seeing a hell of a lot more of that down the line as well. We're entering into this exclusivity sort of thing, and if you believe that PlayStation leak from, was it this week or last week, regarding Resident Evil, it was this week. Everything's just. That is more things we're going to see down the line. They're not allowed to go to Game Pass. They're not allowed to go to cloud if they're getting the marketing deals and all this. I think we are entering this naughty period now where all these sort of things are going to happen. So it is something to keep an eye on going forward.
It's business,
It is business.
Just business, yeah.
I love the behind-the-scenes drama in politics with all these companies just like fighting each other in secret, trying to hide everything.
Yeah, it's all competition to me, man. I feel like at the end of the day, one person's loss is another person's gain. Listen, if you want to step up, spend more money. At the end of the day, we just got to sit back and reap the benefits. I talked about you earlier, Ace, on Duncan and I show, and I said Ace thing is, have it all, right? And Duncan said, hey, do the same thing. So my thing is, make me want it, right? I was always one of those guys where I was either diehard Xbox, diehard PlayStation, right? So when I was into the PlayStation ecosystem and everybody wanted me to get an Xbox, I said, listen, I don't mind spending money, right? I don't have a problem with it. But you make something that make me say, I have to play that game. If you do it, like, for instance, when God of War, listen, if the next God of War come out, if it's on PlayStation 4 and on PlayStation 5, then you're not making me say I need a PlayStation 5. Then I'm just going to get it on PlayStation 4 and, oh, well, I can't get the graphics unless it's going to be you could only play this on PlayStation 5, right? But I don't think they're going to do that because they're going to feel like they're shutting out the people from PlayStation 4. It's just going to look better on that. You're not getting me with that. So competition is good, but make the consumers say, I have to have Game Pass. I have to have Stadia. You know, when we get into the competition, you have to do enough to make me, like, for instance, right? You got people who, like, it's a popularity contest. People love PlayStation, right? PlayStation sold more than Xbox, right? So Xbox is like, okay, yeah, you sold more consoles, but now we have Game Pass. But you have to add enough to Game Pass to make that diehard PlayStation guy who spent $500 on a PlayStation 5 say, I think I'm going to jump ship, or I'm at least spend $14.99 a month. So, you know, it's competition, man. Make that person change. Do enough to make me say I'm jumping ship.
I would say Game Pass, though, the value that it adds to
it's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that alone is like they making you like jump on.
Outriders, all the EA games.
You get so much for $15 a month.
So my only issue, okay, is perspective is, you know how perspective go, right? I used to have Game Pass. Before Stadia came out, I had Game Pass. And here's what Stadia solved for me. My buddy, he's a diehard Xbox, so my Xbox had Game Pass. And he would be like, bro, you need to play this game. I'm like, I only got but so much. How you want me to uninstall, reinstall? Like, it just got to the point where I didn't play everything because I was just like, they got so many games and some of those games don't even look that good. They might have been great to me, but I didn't give it the time of day. Then Cloud came out and I've played every single place Stadia Pro game. Why? Because I just press a button, play it, it's trash. Jump out, never play it again. So Game Pass is great, but it doesn't solve that issue that I still have when I used to have Game Pass. Because I'm going to get Game Pass and I'm still going to have my limited amount of space. So either I'm going to spend more money to get, well, I do got a 2 terabyte. That's what I had to do. I ended up getting a 2 terabyte external hard drive, but still I'm going to have to uninstall. So Game Pass is, listen, amazing value. I talked about it all the time, but it still doesn't solve that issue. And I'm not talking about Stadia. I'm talking about Cloud in general. It doesn't solve the issue that Cloud does, where I'm going to want to play this and play this and play this. Because I'm like, damn, man, I just deleted 6 trash games. And now it's going to take me how long to reinstall or to install and download these games that might be trash. It's just that for me is the one thing that I would say, okay, Game Pass has value, but it doesn't solve that issue of space, download, uninstall, reinstall. So that I have to call.
And that's part of why they included xCloud or game streaming or cloud gaming. They included that in Game Pass as a perk for people that didn't want to have to install these trash games to test to see if they liked it.
Yeah,
so they can play it on their phone, their tablet, now their PC and Mac,
and their
to
console.
see if it's worth the installation time.
Right. Yeah. But it doesn't get every game, correct?
It gets a lot of their games.
But it doesn't get every game, correct?
Not every game, but if it's on Game Pass, it's a lot of them.
To clarify, what do you mean by every game?
Because I mean every game that's on Game Pass isn't also on xCloud gaming. Is what I'm saying. So if I get the Xbox Ultimate Game Pass, so I get everything, right? I get cloud gaming, I get Xbox Gold, I get Game Pass, right? You got it all. So what I want to see is the day and age where every game that's on Game Pass is also on, because I'm more interested in xCloud or whatever it's called, right? Yeah. I love the cloud. Like, I can't go back. When I haven't played my PlayStation forever, and then when Outriders came out and the demo wasn't for Stadia, I said, oh, I gotta play it. And after over a year of barely playing my PlayStation and then having to download it, I was like, damn, man, yeah, that half an hour, it did something to me. Like, and you know, so I could imagine having to, if I want to play a bunch of games and had to uninstall and reinstall. So what I'm saying is, when they get the xCloud, have everything they have, that's going to be cool. That's going to be really cool, because that's a talking point. Now you could say xCloud or Game Pass Ultimate has amazing value because you'll cater to the console people and the cloud people. But you can't do that right now.
Yeah.
So we talk about this a lot in the show, and we talk about fragmentation, right, being an issue with with the whole Game Pass ecosystem. But they've talked about, like, in time, right? They're working on making every game you purchase from the store be available for you to play in Game Pass. Again, we say cloud gaming still is in this infant stage, right? So eventually, I think we'll see that be a thing. But I mean, it makes sense as of right now. That's not the case, but hopefully we'll see that, you know, being pushed more.
I just want to bring up that one wee tiny thing. Just going back to just bring us back a wee bit. I was actually shocked. Or not shocked. I was actually surprised that we didn't get a judgment on Game Pass. I think we were talking about the cloud exclusivity. I think Stadia has grabbed that, because if you look at all the other Yakuza games, they are on Game Pass and in the cloud as well. So I think there's some shenanigans going on there.
Yeah, there was reports when the game was announced that it wasn't going to PC because of Stadia, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But
and,
who knows?
Yeah, that was even GForce Now. I was surprised. Again, I know that it's not available for PC yet, but I think there is something going on with this game and Stadia that is preventing it to. But best believe, give Game Pass a couple of months. I can say we will see judgment on there. I don't want to promise anything, but
a lot of the games that aren't on xCloud are contractual agreements with the developers where they're either not ready for their game to be on cloud yet. So it's not necessarily that Game Pass doesn't want the games on there. They do. They want to increase the value. A lot of it is just they're trying to convince the developers and the publishers that, hey, it's time to start moving to the cloud.
Yeah, true. All right, let's move on to Stadia. I feel like we've been Geforce Now, but again, your input was very helpful, members. But let's talk about Stadia. So 2 games was announced for Google Stadia this week, and that's Farming. So Duncan, I really want to check in with you in this one, because there's something you keep saying, and I want to see if this kind of fits that, right? So it's Farming Simulator 2022, and then there's another game called Legend of Keepers, Career for Dungeon Manager. I believe that's the other game. Right, and then we got Outriders that released, not Outriders, Judgment that released. But we'll talk more about Judgment later. But let's talk about Farming Simulator 2022. Duncan, I'm going to go to you in this one because
I know where you're going.
Okay. You know where we're going. So this is we talked about like yearly games, and that's how we can tell where Stadia is, if they're in trouble or not, if they can, re-sign contract of, like, we saw they missed F1 2022, but they got Farming Simulator 2022, right? So what does that say about the platform? Do you think like this was already an inked deal? Before like the closure? Yeah, I'm just go at it. I'm curious to hear what you have to say about this.
I think this was already a deal, and also this week we have also had another game not come as a yearly franchise, and it is a massive game which is on everybody's list, and it's the #1 played game on Stadia in MotoGP. MotoGP has not came to Stadia this year, so that at this moment in time, that is 2 games. I'm not counting F1 at this moment because you don't know about
Football Manager.
Football Manager's one, and now we've got MotoGP as our second one, not coming as a yearly franchise. And there's also F1 is not coming at this time as well. Yes, I think it's great that Farming Simulator is coming. You may laugh at the game, you may think it's the stupidest game in the planet, but it is absolutely massive. It has an esports league. It is really, really quite something. So that coming to Stadia is great. What we actually need for it, and we're going to laugh here, we're going to need a cross-platform multiplayer for it because it's actually getting 16-player multiplayer. So I think we're going to have multiplayer on it for Stadia. But there's just so many mixed messages coming out from Stadia with these games coming. We've got games, yearly franchises which have been confirmed as Farming Simulator, and we've got 2 games as well which aren't coming. And I'm not touching F1 until we know it hasn't arrived on the Stadia. And I think that is a bigger game not coming to Stadia than Farming Simulator, because that's part of EA now, because Codemasters has been sucked into EA.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Do we have a date for Farming Simulator 22? When is it coming out?
Fall.
Yeah. Okay, so can I say something real quick? Could you put the camera on Duncan real quick? Because Duncan, you and I had a talk on March 20th, and I told you March 20th of 2022. You and I are gonna get back together, and I'm gonna ask you, did Stadia die or not? So if that game's coming out in the fall, I'm just curious if Stadia is going to be dead by March 20th of 2022.
I still of my opinion.
Do you want to move that date back a little bit?
No, I'm comfortable with it.
All right, cool.
I'm still comfortable.
We'll be talking March 20th, 2022.
He's confident, man.
I think I'm comfortable. Comfortable was the term, but I think we're going to move on to something later with when we're talking about Judgment, and I think we really need to get into that.
Cool. So perfect segment. Subject. Let's do it. So again, not much to say about these 2 games coming, but let's move on to Judgment, which I think. So I've played this game, and hell, I am really freaking impressed by this port. Good port, great game, good port. So good get for Google Stadia all around. But just want to check in with the panel. Have you guys tried this game? If so, what's your reaction and how has the experience been? So let's just get to you in this one, Duncan. See what your take is. on Judgment for
I
Stadia?
have not played Judgment. I am just extremely frustrated on the way Judgment has been handled in coming to Stadia now. Let's just drop state share in the middle of Judgment and not tell the word about it. You're trying to sell your service, you're trying to sell your platform, and the tweet from yesterday was brilliant. The first rule about Stadia is you don't talk about Stadia, and that seems to be that Stadia's marketing and PR. You're not allowed to talk about Stadia, you're not allowed to promote the service, you're not allowed to do anything under the sun to try and pull people towards the service. And all they needed to add was state share is coming to Judgment, and that would have got some more eyeballs onto it, and maybe drawn a couple of sales and said, this is the only thing you can do on Stadia, and a new way to play Yakuza. You can drop your levels onto it, and your friends can play it. How hard is that? This is what is scuppering Stadia going forward, and it's just really frustrating to see that they're hamstringing themselves up and not promoting the actual positives. Because from all intents and purposes, our Judgment on Stadia runs really well. People are really, really enjoying it, and there's a state share thing which isn't getting talked about because I forgot to mention it.
So it goes back to.
I hope I'm next.
Let's do it. All
right, listen. I'm just like Duncan. I didn't play the game, but again, it's a third-person game, but doesn't have superpowers and no multiplayer. So the two things kind of stop me from. But Duncan, the man asked you. The question he asked you was, "Did you play it and how did you like it?" No, you didn't play it, but are you saying that the reason why you didn't play it is because they didn't announce it didn't have state share? Is that what you're saying? No, that was just a tangent.
No, I'm still not buying games in Stadia unless they're really cheap.
Okay, because you were upset with the marketing of the game. I'm like, what does that have to wait?
It's just a frustration that they cannot go out there and actually advertise it to draw people in.
Yeah, but would that legitimately make you not want to buy that game on Stadia? Like, because I feel like an individual.
So where's this come from? I don't know where this is came from.
I want to, dude. I'm on the show, and when I watch the show, these are the questions nobody asks you. They might know you more than I know you, and I I can't, because I feel like the question is, hey, did you play the game? Do you like it? You get the no, man. They should have said state share. Like, what does that have to do with an individual purchase? If you either like the game or you don't like the game, but do you literally say, I'm not going to buy this because you know what, Pepsi? No. I don't like the color. How are they going to put New York on the top?
So I'm gonna echo what. So Anthony, if you've been following the podcast, where Duncan's at with Stadia buying games on the platform, is he's not buying anything until Google officially confirms that where this platform is going. The fact that they haven't announced anything yet, they're just carrying on like nothing happened after the studio closure. He's not. He doesn't know if this platform's going to be around, so he's not going to invest in it, right?
I know, and he did tell me that before, but when you ask him a question and he goes off, it's just kind of like, I just wanted to know, like, did you, like, I know you're boycotting buying games for a little bit, but then that should be the answer, right? Shouldn't it be like, no, I didn't play the game because I'm still not buying games on Stadia, versus like, I'm frustrated because they didn't say that state share was in it. So I want to know if that was like the reason why you didn't get the game. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. That's why we have you on here, man.
Thanks,
we want to get those questions asked.
I'm sure some people was watching and was like, what did he just say?
For sure. No,
I'm just saying.
So Duncan, so here's what I know about you. And again, we've been doing this episode 38, right? I think the frustration you have with Google is just like you said, you love them. You want them to succeed, right? But they do one thing right. Like they say, take one step forward, two step backwards, right? Marketing is something we've all addressed here, that if they improve, if they can get better at, that this platform might do a lot better than it currently is doing. And this is another one of those issues where this feature could have put this game, right, set this apart from any other consoles, and they had this, they market it, and you just like hear about it. They did this with Outright. Was it Outriders? We found out that it had
Stream Connect,
and they didn't announce it. So it's like, where is that? I think that's your frustration. Like, where is the breakdown with miscommunication, and
well, let me ask you this real quick.
This
hey, so I'm done, right? Because I want to ask you guys, everybody, this. So they went out and made a public statement that they're no longer gonna give out information, especially about upgrading and stuff, right? Do you fall like should it like? Because I'm trying not to give them a pass either. They did what was that? Resident Evil, when it was coming out, they was like, you could download, no installs, or blah blah blah. And I said every single commercial needs to do what they just did, right? So, but they did say that they want to go forward and be more silent. So I get the frustration, but I feel like if my wife said, listen, we're not doing this anymore, then for me to still get mad after she told me that, that's kind of on me, right? So I mean, it is face value. That is what they said. Now, is it a misstep? Like, should they be doing more? They should. But this is what they said. So I'm more like, you know, if I get surprised because you do something I never seen coming, then I'm like, I might could be upset or excited, right? But if you just be you and do what you've been doing, then and you do the same thing, like whatever, we're gonna keep it moving because you know. So I feel like this is what they're doing. And real quick, the most time I ever see them go bells and whistles, and we all seen this, was good stuff. You couldn't go nowhere without hearing about good stuff. And guess what? Good stuff came out. It was their fault because they should have used the one word. I said mini. They should have said we're doing a 3-day mini event. Either way, good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. Everybody's watching. We all said it was terrible. They heard the worst ever. And after that, they went pretty much silent. So I think they feel like if I say something, if I put my words out there, they're going to hold me to it. And sometimes people put their words out there and it don't come off the way it should. So all I'm saying is they said they ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, and that's just dumb. They got a product to sell. They've got a product to sell. Why would they be silent on it? Why aren't they telling anyone about the products that they have for sale? That is the dumbest thing. And see, when I seen John Justice say that in an interview, we ain't gonna say nothing, we're just gonna do it. I just thought that's just dumb as insert Scotch word here. It's just stupid. It's just idiotic in my opinion. If I have a product that I'm trying to sell, I ain't going to be quiet about it. I'm going to shout to the rooftops. I want people to buy it.
Yeah, and I agree with you guys. I'm all about marketing. I'm all about advertising.
Jerry, I see you wanting to come in here. Go ahead.
You know me, I won't interrupt anybody, so I'll just wait for that little moment when there's like actually a full 1,000 that I can get my brain.
Go. It's yours.
No, it's just I'm listening to everybody. It's just so interesting because I come at it from such a different perspective. So like watching everybody kind of like really narrow in on certain things is funny to me. But to kind of hit on what everybody's been saying, the pulling back on we're going to say less is just another reinforcement of the confidence that was shaken in gamers to begin with the issues that Stadia is having. Everybody knows Stadia is having issues, especially behind doors. We just don't know how big they are. To say Stadia will survive would be a lie. To say Stadia is dead would be a lie. Yeah. There's probably only like a couple of people who actually even know that answer, and we don't know those people. Yeah. They are in trouble. If Xbox, PlayStation, I've said this before, if any other company said they were closing their all first party, like not just one game being canceled, closing it all down, I would come out and tell you that Xbox would be done within 6 months to a year, or PlayStation would be done within 6 months to a year. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but that's the optics. It doesn't look good. So when Stadia did that with SG&E, it really shook a lot of confidence in a lot of gamers. Now, a lot of people were able to pivot and say that's okay because Stadia will either buy some exclusives, which I don't think Google's going to continue to spend that kind of money because there's no player base to pay them back, or they're going to be the best place to play third-party games, and they're going to try to change their business model a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. But they haven't really announced anything to anybody. And that's where me and Duncan have really agreed and came to the point where we said, back when this happened, 6 months to a year from now, Stadia would either be gone or it would be rebranded to something else like YouTube Games, and the ambition would be pulled back because when they released Stadia, they said they were competing against Xbox and PlayStation. They are not in their current state, not in pulling back discussion, not in their game releases, not in not having exclusives. They're just not competing with the consoles. That's okay. You don't have to, but they need to clarify the vision for their consumers, for people who are interested in cloud and interested in Stadia. Because one of the big turnoffs right now, and for friends I talk to, people I talk to online, is the vision isn't there. What is Stadia? What's it going to be? Is it going to be here later? Is it not going to be here? Can I play my games there 2 years from now? Well, we don't know that about any platform, but Stadia being so new and being in a little bit of trouble, it is more risky to purchase games on Stadia right now than you want it to be, because you don't know the answers to these questions. So they really hurt themselves when they put out the cancellation, the SG&E, and all that bad press, and didn't come out with what I called their sister statement to counteract that and give the new vision to its consumers. They never did that. They gave a 100-game roadmap that was coming anyway. That did nothing for that announcement. So Stadia is in trouble, but nobody knows what it's going to be. Their tech is awesome. I can tell you what is going to happen. They're going to be leasing out Stadia tech. Boom, it's going to happen. They're going to lease it to Activision. They're going to lease it to all these other companies. So is Geforce. They're all going to start doing that. The fragmentation's coming. There's never going to be a single cloud platform where you can play all the games that you want to play. It's just never going to happen. As far as Judgment, one of the best ported Stadia games that I have tried. I have been testing Stadia since January 2020, so for a long time, almost every game. One of the best games I've played over on Stadia yet. It's absolutely gorgeous. It actually runs at 60. Because most games they say it does, it doesn't. It actually runs really smooth. It looks really good. It's crisp. It's clean. And huge props. Not so much to Stadia, because we know they don't have any quality control because of Outriders, and that's another frustration. There's no quality control of the games that are coming, which is turning off gamers. But the developers, the publishers, I mean, damn. They really put it out there for, in my opinion, even better than what was done with Cyberpunk for Judgment over on Stadia. So if you're looking for a place to play it and you want to go console, or you want to go, for God's sakes, get it on Stadia because it runs fantastic. Huge props to them for that.
The game, again, can't stress it, it's incredible in Stadia. And again, you're going to see more vids coming on that game for sure. But good port, good stuff.
And one last point, because I'll hush. Mm-hmm. Everyone watching, just remember, everyone's opinion here matters so much, and it enforces the point that don't ever fall into that trap that only Stadia is for you, or only GeForce Now is for you, or only Luna. Please go try them all. You wouldn't go test drive like one freaking car. Go try all these cloud gaming services, see what works best with your internet, with your setups, with your devices, and which one does have the games that you want. Because like I said, you're never going to find a cloud platform that has all the games you want. If Stadia does have all the games that you want, that's great, but there's a lot of games that you're not playing too, some of the most popular ones out there. So please shop around and look at everybody's opinion, then form your own.
And on that note, you can play it like the video streaming platforms. Have Netflix for a few months, catch up on all your favorite shows, cancel, go to HBO, cancel, go to Hulu. Same thing with cloud gaming. You don't have to have just Stadia, just GeForce Now, just Luna. Granted, GeForce Now, they kind of put founders in a bind, because if you cancel, you lose your discount.
So
but
keep them,
all the other services, you can bounce around. You don't have to keep them for a year, or for 2 years, or 3 years straight. You can keep for 2 or 3 months, play the 2 or 3 games you want, jump over to another one until they have more games you want. Yeah. That's the beauty of cloud gaming.
That is true.
True.
And to be honest with you, it takes out a little bit of that fear. Like, I just wanted to jump on one thing you said. So you did say that, they closed their first party studios, and it'd be similar to if PlayStation closed theirs. The only difference is you've known PlayStation have first party studios for a very long time. So the difference is this was a first party studio that you never, ever seen or played a game. So it's really not the same thing as that. Just want to point that out there, because if I play God of War and then Santa Monica Studio said, we're canceling God of War, I'd be like, whoa. But if I heard Stadia say, hey, we're canceling a game you never heard of, because I don't even know what it is, it's a different story. But I just want to throw that out there. But,
and to clarify that for you, I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is, and people know this in politics, and this is something Stadia doesn't understand, and this is why gamers don't want to jump onto Stadia, is because they didn't come out and reinforce any confidence for the gamer after that closure. It's optics. Yeah, there were no games that were, oh my gosh, we're not getting Lord of the Rings, right? Because Luna and freaking Lord of the Rings. But It's the optics that they said that's it. I mean, we didn't even get the Crank one out yet, and we're going to close first party. And at that same week, the rumor came out, or truth, that Google's not going to funnel more money into Stadia. So when all those things started to happen, it got people scared. Are they going to pay to bring the third-party games? Are they going to pay for exclusive? Like, what's going to happen? So yeah, we didn't lose anything, but optically, for a lot of consumers, it crushed their chance of ever going over to Stadia.
Yeah,
I agree.
So
I agree too. They really need to overhaul their PR.
Look, Stadia is a hell of an awesome product that has been mismanaged from day one. And that's been my frustration with it. Yeah. Love it. The gaming experience. I can praise Stadia in a lot of ways, but good God, the communication and the mismanagement of this product is disappointing.
So I don't know if you know this, Anthony, I brought you up a little bit, right? Because I don't want you to feel like you're being like attacked here. Trust me.
No.
Like,
yeah,
okay,
no.
Cool.
Thanks.
Cool. And yeah.
No way.
For sure,
by the way, Anthony's awesome. So I'm pretty sure between Duncan and me and Anthony and all these guys, I'm pretty sure everybody's enjoying. Like, you get it. Like, we all like and respect each other immensely.
You know, the thing is, I've watched you guys for a long time. I've been a fan from, man, you know, I can't say I've seen every single episode, but if I'm scrolling through my YouTube and I'm like, oh, that's right, I'm watching you guys. But I'm a vocal person. I feel like there's nothing wrong with healthy discussions, debate, if you will. And I just like to, you know, my thing is, I'm the guy, right? If I'm walking down the street and this lady's getting harassed, I'm going to be like, hey, what you doing? Now, I'm not going to run over and start beating the guy up, but I'm at least like, hey, you know, there might be a time I walk by and don't say anything, right? But I feel like I'm a gamer's gamer. I love games. I love tech, man. Listen, if GeForce Now blow it out the water, or I said this many times, I think Xbox is going to be the king of the cloud. They are looking to be, if they get on par, all they have to do is be on par with Stadia and allow you to buy your games and still keep the xCloud format. It's over. It's a wrap. But I am a Stadia fan, and when I hear certain things, I can't just be quiet. Like me and Duncan, I love to discuss with him because he says some crazy stuff, and I'm cool with it, but I need him to clarify. So I'm the guy where, hold on, I'm just not going to let, you know, I can't just sit back and be like if something goes over my head and I'm like, wait, what? I just want to ask you to clarify. Like Duncan, people got on him. Oh, you said it's going to die in 6 months. I got him on my show. He clarified. No, what I'm saying is, and because I had to pull it out of him, he just left it a blanket statement. Stadia's dying, and then people just ran with it. But I wanted to know, well, what does that mean, Duncan? And so I'm that guy. So I apologize if I'm asking too many questions, but I want people to clarify their statements.
So that is why we have you on here, bro. Like I want these conversations to take place, right? So be you, be yourself, speak out. And I love that about you. So keep asking those questions, man. That's what this panel is all about. So appreciate it. So we still got some news, but let's we talked about Judgment. Again, if you guys haven't checked it out, I believe personally it's one of the best ports we've seen on Stadia. I mean, it rivals next gen graphics and performance, just being 100% real. And you should be seeing that video pretty soon. But it's really, really impressive. But yeah, let's move on. We still got that's it for okay, that's it for, let's move on to xCloud or Xbox Cloud Gaming. That's what they call it now. Official from Microsoft. It's called
Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta.
Boom. There we go. All right. So again, they promised this, and I'm gonna be honest with you, this is freaking exciting because, you know, people like, oh, here is Microsoft promising a lot of things, but are they going to keep up with these promises? And, you know, they told us that xCloud, or I'm going to call it xCloud, is coming in the beginning, like pretty soon, beginning of the year. And here it is on PC, on iOS. And, you know, when it launched, it was terrible, just to be honest. But then take a step back, come back, and now it's working pretty well for a lot of people. So how important is this? Number one, how important is it for Microsoft to keep to its promises? Number two, how important is this with the competition now that xCloud is on iOS and in the browser? So let's check in with the panel and see what y'all's take is with this move from Microsoft. So to get started, let's start in with Hell Monkey. Let's start with you in this one. What's your take on this?
Still a bit sour because I don't have the invite yet. But no, listen, it's good. As we always say, it's just going to drive competition, you know. We don't have every game on xCloud just yet from Game Pass, but, you know, there's over 200 there. I don't know the exact figure, but there's definitely over 200 games already on, you know, Xbox Cloud Gaming. And, yeah, look, there's stuff on there that you ain't getting anywhere else. And, the Game Pass numbers just keep driving up. So right now, effectively, there's a percentage of 22 million people have access to xCloud.
Yeah, that number was just announced, right? The 22
yeah,
million?
that's a crazy amount of subscriptions. Granted, I think a big boost of that probably came from the £1 deal that they're doing, but that's clever marketing. They're giving you a £1 for the first month, and you know, at the same time as they're launching into the beta for the browser. And obviously they've had so many games now come with the custom touch controls, which, by the way, I think is fantastic, because the mobile market out there is insanely bigger than a lot of people think. They're covering a lot of ground. They're sticking to what they said they were going to do. They're following up on what they say they're going to do, and that it's only a good thing going forward, as long as they keep doing what they say they're going to do.
Okay. True. Good take on that. Again, good stuff. Let's check in with Duncan and get your reaction with this move.
I'm in Hellmonkey's position. I still haven't been given my access yet, and I'm a bit frustrated about that. And
so I'm gonna then rub it in y'all's faces then, because I'm actually on it right now. So let me show my screen to you guys. Keep going.
I think it is great news that it's getting pushed out, and it's going to really shake things up. And I am seeing, on a whole, probably more positive reaction out there than negative reaction on how it's performing for people. Going back to the Game Pass numbers, with them having 22 million on Game Pass, that is going to make it even more appealing to start getting these games like Outriders and MLB The Show onto it day one. It is just going to be like a stone going down the hill. The more people they have on it, the easier it is to get these big games day one on the platform. And with the heavy rumors of Battlefield going day one into Game Pass, that could spice things up a hell of a lot. Again, that's just a big rumor out there at this moment in time. I'm not sure how much it's got legs, but this is going to really, really shake things up. It's one thing we're going to, which is inevitable, we're going to get into, is subscription versus buying. If you look through this library on Game Pass, and if you just look onto the cloud and you compare it to Stadia's library, you can see the amount of crossover, and we're not talking about Mickey Mouse sort of games, even though there is Mickey Mouse games there. And you've got your Dooms, you've got your Outriders, you've got your Dragon Quests there, you've got MLB The Show, has just seen that go there, you've got MotoGP.
Monster Hunter? Are you kidding me? Wow.
Yes. Oh, for this is the problem going forward for the buy versus rent sort of model. You're not looking at just one of these games. So you say, I fancy buying Outriders there, so there's $60 down there, but $60 gets you, what's it, 4 or 5 months, my head's just getting made over here, 4 or 5 months of Game Pass, and you get access to not only Outriders, but all these games as well. And if you like MLB The Show or whatever game, as you can see, there's absolutely tons of games there. This is where this gets really, really murky going forward, how it becomes such great value. And the crossover of games is just real. Because even there down the bottom there, you've got Zombie Army 4, which is on Stadia. It's going to run better on Stadia compared to xCloud until the Series X blades come, which we know what's happening during this week with Phil Spencer hyping up xCloud coming. He said that the Series X blades are in testing now, so we know things are speeding up with this. I think it's just Again, I think come June time, when these sort of announcements come, I think we're going to see where Stadia is, and I think it might be some interesting talk there, because I think we're going to get some absolute bangers dropping into Game Pass and into the cloud at the same time, and it's just going to be mad.
Yeah. It's really, really impressive. Just looking through the library, man. This is wow. They have a pretty stellar lineup here of games, man. Not gonna lie when it comes to that for sure. Cool. Let's check in with Jerry. What's your take on this move?
Yeah, I love it. Being a huge Xbox fan, I mean, consoles in general, right? I have everything sitting literally right next to me in my little circle here. My PS5 and my Series X, I could hug them while we're chilling here. Xbox right now and the role that they're on is the perfect example of a properly managed IPM product. Phil Spencer effect. I mean, a lot of people know already in 2013, Xbox almost shut the doors. I mean, literally done, no more consoles, no nothing. They almost shut down completely. That's when Phil Spencer came in. He had been with the company since OG Xbox and before, but that's when he really stepped into the role. And he had a vision for where this was going to go over the next 10 years to 2023. And in 2018, he said cloud was about 5 years away, 2023. So they are absolutely 100% right on track to where they want to be, and I think ahead of it. If they still reach, their last statement was they think they can still reach the 4K streaming, the Series X blades, 60 frames per second, basically running their Series X in the cloud. If they can do that even before then, that's going to be absolutely amazing. And as Anthony has said, and others here, we've got to have the more games in the cloud. We at least need every game that you purchase, and Phil has said this, every game you purchase needs to be playable in the cloud immediately, along with being able to download it on your PC or your console or whatever. So absolutely, at a minimum, our purchases need to be there. But I would love to see all of our subscription games from Game Pass be there as well in the future if that was possible. But yeah, I love what I'm seeing. I love the iOS and the PC app at 1080. It's been working a lot better than it was. Like you said, on launch day, it's
terrible,
abysmal.
So bad.
But like you said, take a step back, come back. We knew there was going to be an influx of players. They're slowly turning up bit rate, turning it down. I mean, you can tell when you jump on that they are running. This is a beta. They are adjusting things hour by hour, day by day, how the games run, how the streams run. But you can tell they're working really hard on it. So this is our stepping stone. This little stuff is our stepping stone to when we get the Series X blades and things get serious. And yeah, this is why I jumped into cloud. I was a hardware only channel, and cloud just has become so exciting over the past year and a half. I just don't know how you can't be excited about all the cloud going on. And Sony's even going to be jumping in with some interesting stuff in the future. So I mean, come on, give me all those exclusives in the cloud. Come on, I'll pay $25 a month, Sony. Same to you, Xbox. I'll pay up to $25 a month for Game Pass. Just keep the games coming.
Seriously, I was telling someone the other day the beauty of picture this, right? Gaming on your browser. How insane is that, right? Playing true. So I can bounce back between Amazon Luna, GeForce Now, Stadia, and xCloud, all in the browser. Playing AAA games on your browser. That just blows my mind, man. Seriously. Blows my mind. That can pick
and
whichever
when I
one
started gaming,
and
you had to
instantly.
duct tape your Atari 2600 to your RF switch to your UHF input on your TV to freaking play with your little joystick, all right? Because I'm freaking old. So my first console was an Atari 2600 on a little 19-inch TV that I had sitting in my room. Yeah. So now we didn't even have browsers. We didn't have internet when I was born in 1981. So it's like what we're doing now just blows my mind because I've had every console. I've played games since I was 3, since 1984. And wow, just where we've come is wow. And I wish I could live forever because I want to see where we're at in 1,000 years. Ready Player One?
Yeah, good stuff. Guess Ben, where do you stand with this news, man?
I agree with you. The first couple of days were very rough for it because I think they weren't expecting the response that they got.
They should have.
They should have. But I think that overall it's a fantastic move. They've been promising it for a few months now, so it's nice to see them finally deliver it. It's again that promise thing that Jerry was talking about earlier. Companies keeping that. I think whether you hate or love Xbox, this is a great move for everybody because 22 million players so many of them just got access to play a bunch of Game Pass games anywhere. And once they see how that works, if they see, hey, this isn't as good as I thought it would be, let's see if other people are doing cloud better. They can always check out, Luna, Stadia, GeForce Now. There's other options, and it just opens up the opportunities for competition. Will Xbox reign supreme in the end? We don't know. That they're definitely making better business strategy moves, but overall, this is good for everybody because it just drives that competition.
True. Agreed. Anthony, what's your take on this news?
Oh, this is cool. So I'm glad the last thing Ben said was competition. I'm gonna say something crazy, man. I want Xbox cloud gaming, right? Cloud streaming, whatever. I want Project xCloud to do so well it makes Stadia close its doors. And hear me out. I want them to push the competition so hard that Stadia either have to step up and give everybody on this panel what you want them to do, or they're done. Because competition is great. Xbox and PlayStation has been showing you how competition go and how they've been ramming it up. Now, 2 years ago, when Microsoft said our competition isn't PlayStation, Nintendo, it's Amazon and it's Google. Well, guess what? Now they're showing that what they said 2 years ago is what they're believing, and they're getting there. So yes, I love Stadia, but what I love is my money more, right? So like I said, if you can make me say I need to buy a PlayStation 5, because right now I laugh and joke and I get on people who got PlayStation 5 like you playing 3 games. And I don't mean a game that you could play on PlayStation 4. That don't count. If God of War whatever comes out and I could play it on PlayStation 4, no. I want that exclusive game where I'm only going to get it on that platform. And so I want the competition. Like I said, I think Xbox is going to be the king of the cloud. That's what I think, because they're doing so much. They're spending the money. I think they're going to take it there. But that's what I want to see. I love Google to death, or Stadia, but I want to see them push Stadia so hard they either say, you know what, we're going to do so much that Anthony said his money's staying here, or we're done.
Yeah.
That's what I want, man.
Agreed. Competition is beautiful, and I mean,
it's good for us.
It's good for the consumers. Yeah. I tell people, Sony's hands forced right now. I think not in a million years would we sit here and be talking about like Sony bringing the first party studio games in the cloud, same day release like Xbox is doing. But they might have to now because their hands was forced, right, by Microsoft. So, hey, give it time, man. I'm telling
you know why, real quick, Ace, stuff right now. Is because I think look at not to knock Xbox players, but you cannot compare Xbox exclusive versus a PlayStation exclusive, right? Ask yourself how many. Okay, yeah. But again, that's why I get on some people, because speculation. Oh, well, what if I was flying in a car? Let's just keep it on the ground, right? If we stick right now, right? Because we can speculate anything. I might buy an elephant tomorrow. Just wait. I might, right? But if we stay with today, you've had The Last of Us 1 and 2, both was game of the year. God of War, was game of the year. We have games that, whether you like them or not, whether you could have skipped them because you're Xbox ecosystem, so you never played them, right? So who cares? You don't know it was that great. But I think Sony knows their games exclusives make so much money. It would be crazy for them to shortcut making all that profit on an individual game and bundle it in a pass. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think so many people, that's my issue with seeing you get all these day one exclusive Sony games bundled in a pass versus so many people are going to buy them because they know they're going to be these diehard great games. That's what I think.
So Ray has something for you here. He's
oh my god,
he's laughing.
Well, he did say PlayStation Now is 1080p. He said OMG. I seen him say that.
Yeah, for sure. But I agree. I think this overall, it's a good thing. But let's check in. Anyone else hop on here because I do want to get to the games. But if you have anything to say about this new Spectra, let's get to you. We haven't heard from you in a bit. What's your take on this?
I think this is huge because I always thought that the way Xbox is handling the xCloud, I feel like they are laying down the groundwork and I think eventually they will just go cloud only.
Yeah.
At this point, and it's just the competition is just good, and I agree with Anthony too. Like I really hope they do push Stadia because they're just not doing, like, their management is not just that great, and I really hope it pushes everyone to do better, because in the end we're all just gonna benefit it.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to think now that, you know, we're seeing a new landscape of gaming right before our eyes, and it's just happening right now. If you told me Amazon and Google were gonna get into gaming 10 or 6 years ago, I probably would laugh.
Right.
And look where we are now. Like it caused a company like Xbox, who has been in the game for a while, and now they're laying the groundwork as well. So it's overall it's a great time for all of us as gamers.
Yeah. I agree. And like you were saying, the fact that all these three big tech companies are taking cloud gaming seriously shows, right, where the future of cloud gaming is going. Microsoft, Amazon, Google not going to shell out as much cash as they're doing right now if this wasn't the future of gaming. So you're right. It's good to see that for sure. Cool. Anyone else want to add to this iOS xCloud coming to PC and iOS? If not, we'll move on to the games that was just announced coming to the cloud. All right, so let's do that then. So we got some games announced. So we have, of course, we all know MLB The Show April 20th, but we have Second Extinction. Now, if you guys haven't played this game, man, this is kind of a big deal. And then we have Destroy All Humans. And then we have on April 30th, Fable Anniversary and Fable 3 coming to the cloud. How good of, are y'all excited about these games? Are these like big games, or are y'all like, nah, it's another week, month for xCloud? So anyone hop on? Well, actually, let's start with Duncan. What's your take on these games coming to the cloud?
Yeah, I definitely want to hear Spectre's take on this as well, because he's been too quiet because there's too many people like me with big gubs. Yeah. So I definitely want to hear more. I definitely want to hear more of Spectre, but with the games coming, MLB The Show is not one for me, but I am wanting to play it on Cloud to give it a go. It's a bit like it's not a sport over here, over in the UK, but I am wanting to give it a go, but I could be bothered downloading it. So I think the other games there, Second Extinction, I just think that looks nuts, and I am really looking forward to giving that a go. Destroy All Humans, I think it's an interesting get. It's going back to what some of us were making earlier, where there is a hell of a lot of crossover between all the different cloud platforms, and it's going to bring into the showcase again, do you subscribe or do you buy it? And that's another game which you can get on cloud now, where you just have to subscribe. Again, it's just building the value up there, and it just makes decisions for you. And then you've got 2 exclusive games coming as well. What is interesting is the amount of games leaving. I think it's something we've noted as well. There seems to be more games coming than leaving, but this is slightly more than what has been happening, but it's 2 PC games, and we're losing a load from the cloud as well. I'm wondering if we're going to have a bumper month next month. We're going to get some absolute bangers coming out with these ones leaving, because there is a definite push here, and I think they want to keep the momentum going. But I think it's these games here coming are pretty good.
Yeah. When I was covering the news video, I said I would rather take these games coming than the ones leaving. And I think if you can make that balance, that's a good thing. Cool. So let's check in with Ben. What's your take on these games coming?
So first off, I agree with what you just said. The balance for the last 3 months since I signed up for Game Pass again, since I bought my Series X, they've only lost 6 games, and most of them were games that were already either on platforms, so I didn't really care, or they were games that I wasn't interested in. But the games that they got were huge by comparison. I mean, Outriders and MLB The Show, both of those were just killer. I mean, you ignore everything else. That doesn't matter what they lost.
Can I just say something here? And we keep on forgetting about GTA this month.
Yeah, absolutely. That was huge as well.
Yeah, for sure. That's true.
No, Second Extinction looks awesome. I love that they're trying to decrease the fragmentation, because you look at like Fogs, that was already on Game Pass for console. They're just adding it to PC as well.
True.
So a lot of the times, like every month, you see repeat names in there. They're just adding it to other aspects of Game Pass, which is good, because we talked about fragmentation earlier, and this is them like clearly showing an effort to minimize that.
True. So then, should we not give Geforce Now? We give them flack for if Holtz was here, he'll tell you, right? He doesn't like seeing the Epic Game Store same game like releasing on 3 different platforms, and so should Geforce Now get a break for that then? Right?
Yes and no. So considering that Geforce Now is targeted at PC gamers who buy their games from different storefronts. That's one thing. Game Pass is one storefront with games playable on different devices.
I see what you're saying.
So I don't think it necessarily means that you should cut Geforce Now slack. I think Game Pass is a little bit different in that scenario, because they're just making their games that you already have through a subscription available to more people.
Makes sense, yeah.
Other than that, Destroy All Humans, I've been wanting to play that for a while, but I couldn't justify paying for it on Stadia, so now I don't have to.
That game is so
that's
fun.
Awesome. It looks so much fun.
So fun.
So much good stuff. I've never played any of the Fable games, so now I'm gonna have to check that out.
Yeah. So I call Microsoft bullies, bro. And someone said the other day that they're good bullies, but they're bullies. What I see them doing is going after. I think this is very intentional, but Duncan was talking about this earlier, how you see similar games on xCloud that you see on other platforms. And in a way, it's like, why would you go spend $20 paying for Destroy Humans in Stadia while you can get in Game Pass with, your... It's just they're bullies, man. They're trying to go against everyone and dominate everyone. It's a good thing if you are in the Xbox ecosystem, but this is just bully tactics right here.
But it's a strategy that's paying off for them.
Yeah,
and I think it's good, because it shows that they're not complicit. They're actually trying to actively improve their service.
So true, so true. I agree, 100%. Jared, what's your take, man?
Yeah, I agree with what everybody's saying here. We're always getting better games than what are leaving. And if a game's leaving that you love and you haven't finished it, you can buy it at a discount, which I think is a nice perk along with the subscription for Game Pass. So you can keep it. And then, like me and Anthony have been saying here, once they add your purchases to the cloud, that discounted purchase would then stay playable in many places. Yeah. So I see a nice little brewing of soup here that's going to be really great in the future. It may not be quite where we want to see it yet, but man, the vision here is like, it's definitely headed that way. For the nostalgia peeps like me that played Destroy All Humans on the OG Xbox, if you haven't played that game yet, you've missed out a lot. I've played the original over and over again. I've played the remaster, or the remake rather. It's not a remaster for Destroy All Humans, and it's great. Second Extinction, played it on Steam. It's a lot of fun, and that is the game I'm most excited about coming to cloud, console, PC, all of them. And because it's Xbox, those saves will go with you. So that's one thing I love too. When it's done that way, you'll have your Xbox save everywhere that you go. So you get that cross progression for all your devices that way too. So yeah, good stuff. And MLB The Show, of course. I've been playing the heck out of that. I'm an American. I love baseball. I played it for 6 years in school. And it coming to Xbox brought me back to baseball games because I just haven't played them on my PlayStation. I've had PlayStations, but I never jumped in. And with Game Pass, I jumped back in finally, and absolutely loving MLB The Show and even the online matches. It's a relaxing game to play compared to what we're usually running around killing people and going nuts and stuff, in games. It's relaxing and enjoyable, and in my downtime, I've enjoyed MLB The Show.
That's awesome. Good to hear. Spectra, let's get to you. I know you talked a little bit, but what's your take on these games coming?
I think these games are good. I haven't really had any experience playing MLB games, but that's a good game as well. Bogs I haven't really played yet, but it's good to see that it is on getting PC though.
Yeah.
That Second Extinction game, man, it looks fun. I want to play that.
Yeah.
And Destroy All Humans looks fun as well. I've watched Anthony's wife on our SBC, and she did a stream on that one, and it looks really fun.
Yeah.
I wanna try that one out too as well. But yeah, overall, these are really good games coming to Game Pass. Yeah.
True. Coco, Anthony,
like
go ahead.
Jerry was just saying with the relaxing games, like Fogs and Rain on Your Parade, both of those games are great to play if you don't want to have to engage your brain much. A little bit of puzzle type stuff, but nothing super crazy, and just relax. Pretty graphics, pretty music, just have fun. I just wanted to point that out since Jerry mentioned having fun. And I love having like all my favorite sports on Xbox and not having to pay for any of them.
Yeah.
So they got Madden, right? FIFA.
Madden.
Not FIFA.
They got PES.
FIFA's
they've got
in the cloud. Yeah.
They have FIFA 20. Not FIFA 21. Okay. Well, not cloud. They've got it on Game Pass.
Okay.
None of the sports games on EA, I don't think, are on cloud.
Huh. I wonder again if that has to do with Stadia's deal too. Anyway, yeah. All right, and then we have NBA 2K, and I think NHL is in the cloud as well.
They just added NHL 21 this month.
Okay. Good stuff. Let's check in with Anthony. So I want to leave about 5 minutes because Anthony, I want y'all to talk about Stadia Bash. That's why I have you guys on here. So I want to give you guys like 5 minutes to let the people know what that's all about. But yeah, let's check in what you hear about these games coming.
I'm gonna go a little left field in all of you guys. So as a service, giving you stuff to play, I always look at it like this. People, and I just a little bit of a realist. Man, if another person get excited for Grand Theft Auto, that was a PlayStation 3 game. Oh man. But anyway, I'll just leave it right there. But I know people love Grand Theft Auto, but guys, it really is a PlayStation 3 game.
It's
really
a PlayStation 3 game. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, it came out on PlayStation 3. Yeah. It was only PlayStation 3, and then they made a PlayStation 4 version, and so anyway. But Fable was cool, but I remember when it was advertised way back in the day on the Xbox 360, and it didn't live up to being what it was. But you have diehard fans of that. Extinction, I was never that interested in that, so I never actually played the Extinction game. I bought my wife Destroy All Humans. She started streaming for the SBCN, and so she just loves third-person games where she could just wreak havoc. Her favorite games are Saint Row. So I did buy her that game for what, $20 or whatever on Stadia. So just watching her play that, because I didn't play it myself, but she's been playing, it's been looking cool. But and then MLB, obviously, if you're a baseball fan, I mean, that's a big deal. Even just for bragging rights for PlayStation, I mean, for Xbox to get that's bragging rights. I mean, whoever don't think that's a big deal in this whole war, I feel like you're selling it short. But for me, as a consumer, none of those games make me jump and say, oh, I'm going to play those and continue to play them. But I think as a service, knowing that they added those games on is decent. I'll give it a solid. I give it a Duncan solid. But my thing is too, it's not my solid, but it's a Duncan solid. But I think also the thing is, you guys said that's important. And I want to counter. Duncan is like, well, Game Pass is kind of like the thing you could do, right? Subscriptions is a thing to do. But my whole thing why I asked you about GFN is if you get these games and they stay, right? Like Stadia Pro or GFN, then that's cool, right? But if you get games and then they go, then you can't say this is going to rival your purchase, right? Because if you thought paying $15 a month was going to rival buying games, but then you get a game you really like and they take it away, yes, you could get on a discount, but then you can't say this is the answer to buying games. You can't say that if you're eventually going to have to buy that game anyway, even if it's discounted. But to go on these games, I think they're solid, a Duncan solid, but I'm not all over these games, for the reasons I gave.
That's true, but to that point about the not having to buy games, Netflix pulls movies all the time. If I watch them several times and I like them, I buy them afterwards. It's not a big deal. I got to enjoy them, and if I really want to keep enjoying them, then I'll do it. Right. But it's a good way to try figure out what you like.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of companies pulling games. I mean, I'm not. I don't like it. Just being real.
Nope.
And if I can have Stadia's something you gotta give Stadia, pat on the back for is they've been. You don't see a lot of games leaving Stadia, right?
Well, they're not a subscription service. They're nothing like that. They're
True.
Completely different. And if you're a Pro member and you stop paying for Pro, you don't have access to any of those Pro games you claimed either, unless you go buy them. So they're not really comparable.
True, but then the thing is, I know you can say with Xbox, right? You can rebuy the game cheaper, rate, whatever. But the thing is, it's gone from the cloud. I mean, if I want to play it again, yes, I can go buy it, but it's gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not. I love when games come, but I don't like when games.
That's because your use case too is cloud as a main gaming, and with someone like me, and with most people, cloud is an add-on or an afterthought right now. But that's going to change in the future for sure, and more people are going to feel that way.
And I think the thing is, I give Xbox so much credit. I did a podcast over a year ago, so it's cool watch, and it was called The Future of Gaming. And I was a PlayStation guy. My buddy was an Xbox guy. We already knew the cloud was coming, and I literally said, I think Xbox or Game Pass is going to be the future. This was no xCloud included, right? And I so much value, even a diehard PlayStation guy, you can't say it doesn't have value, but you also got to check it too, because Duncan, like, he sells it. Hey, he thinks subscription is going to be the way to go. Cool. But if you're going to say this is the way to go, and then they take something and then you say, okay, well, I just pay for it, then it's not the way to go. Because if you sell me on, dude, you don't have to spend, you don't have to buy a game anymore. I think Ace, was it you and me talking, and you did that talk the other day, which is, I love your late night things. And you said the statistics show that the average gamer buy about 2 games a month. And I was like, well, I don't know what that is. But you said that's what they say. Yeah. So if I'm going to not buy 2 games a month anymore, and I'm just going to pay $14.99, dude, that's a no-brainer. But then if you're going to take away a game and I'm still going to maybe save 20%, and how often will you do that? I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
You also have to remember there's exclusivity contracts, just like with streaming movies. Right. If it's leaving Netflix, it's probably going somewhere else. If it's leaving Hulu, it's probably going somewhere else. Same thing is going to happen with cloud gaming. If it's leaving Game Pass, it's probably going to Luna. It's probably going to GeForce Now. It's probably going to Stadia. It's probably going to PlayStation. We don't know, but you can rest assured, if it did well on cloud, on Game Pass, it's probably going somewhere else.
Yeah. No, and that's cool, but that doesn't justify my wallet, though. I can't be like, I mean, I understand I got to leave. It's kind of like, ooh, so if I build up all the great things of Game Pass, which Game Pass right now for me in gaming, Game Pass is the top of the top, right? Nothing's above Game Pass for me, right? And I don't even pay for Game Pass because I am a cloud only. I'd rather be a cloud only, but Game Pass, I'm privy to the knowledge that Game Pass is here, but I have to take some points away because they do take games away. I have to.
So
I think if anybody thinks a subscription service is ever going to mean not buying games, you're completely off. There's not probably ever going to be a subscription service that exists where you're not also going to buy your games. Same thing with movies and stuff. I stream them all, but I still buy a ton of them as well. And that's going to happen with gaming. And just like Xbox always says, their Game Pass games, the games on Game Pass, outsell games that aren't in Game Pass. So statistically, that subscription service is selling more games than what they were able to sell prior to that. So
it's like what I said earlier. It's like what I said earlier. It helps you find what you love.
Yeah. But the beauty with xCloud, especially so what I envision Microsoft doing with xCloud is, and I think that's why they purchased in all these studios, is to have rotation of killer first party exclusive content, right? So in that case, right, those games are probably going to be staying because Microsoft owns them. Right. So imagine all this acquisition like Skyrim, whatever, Elder Scrolls 6, and you got the new Halo, and then you got the next Doom.
You'll only play that on xCloud.
Exactly. And so they're going to acquire more, and so having a rotation of first party IPs, I mean, that can be really appealing because that they're not going to leave because again, the Microsoft owns them in the cloud. But anyway,
can I say one last thing? one last thing, real quick. People think that like services like the cloud, right? Like people think, oh man, if you're a Stadia guy, you got it bad. No, PlayStation people got it bad. Their Xbox is making PlayStation look bad. So when we feel like, oh, Xbox, no, talk to a Sony guy, because right now
they're heated, bro.
Yeah,
they're heated.
Yeah.
That's why I said earlier, those good for competition, man.
Yep.
This is gonna force Sony to retaliate somehow, and that is just gonna benefit the consumers all around. So as much as they're bullies, someone called them good bullies, they advocated for the consumers in a way, right? Because
for us,
these companies are gonna make changes that are gonna benefit us in the long run. So good stuff. But I want to leave time for you to plug what you do with the Stadia Bash community. I want people on here to be aware of what that actually is, what you do, and so yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours.
Well, here's the thing. I'm very vocal. You almost can't shut me up. I'm kind of like a Duncan. But the man to my left, I don't know. Let me see. The man to my right, he is the guy that came to me one day with this ideal. So I want Spectre, because I talk more than Spectre, but a lot of people don't realize Spectre came up with this ideal that spawned into the Stadia Bash Community Network. So Spectre, I want you to kind of explain it, and I'll jump in there as well. But you could get the spotlight.
All right, thank you. So the Stadia Bash Community Network is it is a weekly programming of Stadia creators. It's mostly geared towards small up and coming streamers. So it's kind of like basically it is a channel, but there's no content on that channel. Instead, we're funneling all the subscribers from that channel towards the creators that are featured on that channel. So it means that they are directly getting the views, they're directly getting all of their subscribers on that on their own channel themselves. And we have a lot of good streamers on there from Monday to Fridays. We have also community-based events as well on weekends, and we also recently launched our EBCN, which is the Entertainment Bash Network, which is essentially the same thing as Stadia Bash, but it's also for people in our community to cater towards non-Stadia content. So anything from talk shows, games, or I mean not games, but not non-Stadia related. Everything is on there as well. It's a one-stop shop for Stadia and one-stop shop for entertainment.
Wow, you guys have like freaking a whole schedule lined out for like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah,
wow.
we do. We do a Monday through Friday. We wanted to leave the weekends open so we could do specialty events. We host, I mean, as far as gaming, I don't know who did this, but we did a Black History Month event. We did a Women's History Month event. We're planning a thing called a European Invasion, where the American guys going to have nothing to do with it. It's going to be all UK guys. It's just like he said, we're giving smaller streamers the platform to show what they could do. I always give the analogy that Jennifer Lopez, we all know and love her, right? Some people say she can't sing, some people she's great, but she was always on that level, but she just didn't have the platform to show it. So at some point somebody met her as a little girl and gave her a platform. So that's all we're doing, is giving people a 1 hour slot Monday through Friday. So you pick your time, you do it every single week at the same time, unless you can't do it for whatever reason, and you get a chance to showcase who you are. We have people like Ryzak, for instance, where he said, oh, I'm just getting into streaming. I said, dude, you got a cool personality. You could do a little more than streaming. So what he did, he decided to do a game show that he called Game Over, and he have contestants come on, and it's been pretty cool. So yeah, that's what we're about. And like he's showing right now, the Black History Month event, we got a bunch of guys who are Black. We did it, on the last day of the month, and we just talked about how it is being Black and being a gamer. And we did the same thing for the women. It was cool to see, a bunch of women streamers get on there and talk about being girls streaming, do guys hit on us, and that's what we're about, man. We're about just showcasing, the little guys. And yeah, we definitely had stuff where the big guys joined us, and that was pretty cool. Lloyd from Nerd Nest once upon a time did, when we did just a weekly event where it was only for a week, we had a bunch of people jumped in. But this is what we're about. And now we got a new thing where we're calling it unscheduled time. So let's say you say, man, I want to be a part of Stadia Bash Community Network, but I just can't commit to a same time every week. So now last night we unveiled unscheduled stream. So you might say, hey, listen, I just want to do a stream for the Stadia Bash Community Network because more eyes may get on me. So let's say somebody from Europe, right, may never see Ace's content. I'm just saying, right? Because Ace is in the United States, right? Ace, I don't really know where you live at, but let's say you're in the United States, right? And somebody who's a Duncan fan goes on here to see Duncan, but he's just scrolling through and he's like, oh, wow, I like his thumbnail or background or whatever, or title, and click on it. And guess what? Now a person that would have never found Ace may find Ace. And again, when you go to the Stadia Bash Community Network, you go directly to that person's channel. So the network is just a portal. Like he said, there's no actual network content. It's just a portal that takes you to other people content. And we'll never get a subscriber for us that actually matters, because we'll never have content on the channel to even reach, you need 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. We literally get nothing out of it, but just supporting the small guys and hope that, like the guy who has 10 people watching him, he's like, dude, I never had 10 people watching him. That's cool for us, and if you take it further, cool.
And for full transparency, so that everybody knows, me, Cowboy Vet, Ray, we don't take money. We don't even earn anything from promoting anybody here. I don't even want to, or not even interested in taking a cut out of your YouTube paycheck. So it's we're all doing it because we love doing it, and it's just a passion project. And this started from just a one-time holiday thing, and Stadia Vet helped us pretty much elevate it to where we are now, and it's just amazing to see the growth and the support we've been having.
And some people say, guys, get rid of the name Bash, right? Because some people might think it's negative. But when Spectra thought of this, it was because we was going to New Year. So the first thing we ever did was called the Stadia Bash, and it was a 5-day event. The last day, it was 3 hours. It had 3 streams: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday was a New Year's Day, so a lot of people was off. So we did 8 streams that day, right? So we had like 20 hours of content, and it was called the Stadia Bash. So then we did a second one in January, and we doubled it. We had 40 plus hours, 40 plus people. And then we decided, it's become a community. And then Vet came and said, dude, what if you guys made it into some type of network where all the people who are part of it was like an ongoing thing, like a TV channel? Thus came the Stadia Bash Community Network. And that's our thing.
Awesome. It's really, really cool, man. I see like a lot of love and passion went into this, man. Just the whole schedule and the breakdown, the portal, like you guys call it. I think it's cool, like you were saying, right? Just this is a good way. I love the whole JLo analogy, right? Someone had to give her a platform, right, for her to shine, right? So someone out of these creators can shine by you guys giving them a platform. So overall, man, I think this is pretty solid. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
And of course, not everybody agrees with this and not everybody likes it, but we just keep on trucking, man. This is our thing. And like you said, it's a passion project. We're not getting nothing out of it. So the people who kind of dislike what we're doing, it's cool, man, because we just know that, you push come to shove. If I have to choose between the big guy and the little guy, I choose the guy who's excited that 10 people are watched him. Oh, man, we hear it all the time. I never had as many people watching me, and that's cool for them. And that's, I can sleep.
And our community is it's always been just like a family friendly space as well. So it's like, even if you're not on the network too, we always actively just say, oh, we post it and let everybody know, hey, so-and-so's live. They're not on the network on their slot, but come check them out, hang out with us. It's just we're all close in a way. It really feels like a family. It really truly does.
Yeah, when one person go live, last thing I say is when one person go live, we tweet it out. So that person to be like, oh man, all these people are watching because we're all trying to support. Yeah, we can't watch every single stream, but we jump in each person's stream and try to support. And even the people who don't have a time slot, they're still a part of the word community. So we try to follow them as well,
You guys are establishing a pretty cool community here. And again, something people might not realize is content creation is difficult, right? It's intimidating,
it
right?
is.
Getting in front of the camera, like letting people hear your voice, like it takes a lot. But then knowing that you have a community of people supporting you and backing you, right, encourages you to get out there. So overall, man, this is pretty solid. Cool platform. So I'm going to link this in the description below. So for the viewers who are watching, if you guys want to be a part of this or want to support this, you guys can click that link and get direct access to the Stadia Bash Network. Cool. I'm looking at the time though. We're out of time, but I appreciate you guys, man. Spectra, Anthony being here. Really good discussions about cloud gaming. So I appreciate y'all's feedback and everything that you guys had to put in here. So I'm gonna just give you guys a chance to plug in your channel, let people know what you do. So Jerry, GTP, what do you do? Where can people find you, sir?
All right. Yeah, Cave Tech Planet, Twitter, Discord, and on YouTube, Cloud, Console, and PC. I just try to test everything so you guys know what to go spend your money on.
There you go.
And also, fantastic show again. And shout out to Ace, who continues to run a great podcast every week.
Thank you. This is fun. I just love talking cloud gaming and having awesome people to do it with. It's always fun. So kudos to you guys too. Ben, what do you do, sir? Where can people find you?
I don't have a channel, but I'm on pretty much everybody's Discord, and I keep joining more all the time. I'm mod admin and so many, it's kind of ridiculous. But I'm also on Twitter, following Gamer TV, Duncan, resharing all their stuff, Game Tech Planet, all these guys. I just kind of help promote their tweets and just make them reach a little bit farther.
That's awesome. It's awesome. Good to always have you, Ben, for sure. Duncan, what do you do, sir? Where can people find you?
I don't know what I do, but you can check me out at Cloudy with Games. We're playing some Among Us tomorrow, so if people want to come and play that, more than welcome to. And I'm hoping the new maps come out soon so we can get more people in and playing.
Oh, Duncan, did you see they're going to add it so I forget when, I don't think they gave a date, but they're going to make it so you can do 15 players on a map soon?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm really looking forward to that one, because I think the Among Us stuff's pretty fun. We'll get some complete randomers and others in it, and that's not me. And I just want to say 55.
So what? Okay, so break that down. What is that number? So in the background, there's been this thing going on. Been trying to figure it out. It's been driving me crazy. What is that? What is the number 55?
It's something between me and Hell Monkey.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! I'll leave y'all to figure to talk amongst yourself. Let's Spectra. What do you do, sir? Where can people find you?
You can find my channel. Usually it doesn't pop up, but if you search Spectre Stadia, I'm the first one to pop up on there. You can find me on there. I usually stream at 7 p.m. on my SBCN schedule. I also do impromptu streams, and as well as I'm working on getting some more content. I'll be adding some more kind of like skits and camera videos soon. So you'll get to see more than just a profile picture in the near future. And also on Twitter, if anybody who is interested on getting into the SBCN or EBCN, just drop a line on my Twitter at Spectre, spelled the same way, Spectre Games 187. And yeah, that's the best way to get a hold of me.
Awesome. Good to have you on today's show, man. Really
Thank you. It's true. It has been an honor. It's just crazy to see that I went from watching your guys' channel as a fan to now being on here, and it's just truly a great experience.
It's awesome. Awesome. Love your feedback and your input for sure. Anthony, sir. So shout outs to this guy because again, the cowboy brand is coming alive, fellas, and he's been pushing it. So just let people know what you do and where they can find you, sir.
So guys, my channel is called Andyourmommaknows, and it's an everything channel. I do everything. Like I'm working on the review for Mortal Kombat right now, spoiler free. My time slot on the Stadia Bash Community Network is Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. I do a show called the SBCN Spotlight. Each week I take one of the guys and put them on, and the show is all about them, to spotlight them and who they are and ask them questions of their background in gaming. I do a show on Thursday nights at 9 p.m. with my wife, the Sandy and Anthony show. It's a talk show. You know, we invite people to come in and talk. We read every single comment so you feel like you're a part of the show. I'm all over the place. If I go on all the different things I do, we'll be here for a while. But you could catch me at Now Your Mama Knows, spelled out how my name is. And you could catch me on Twitter, Now Your Mama Knows. Pretty much anything you search for a Now Your Mama Knows, I'll pop up.
Cool. Again,
isn't it just the Now Your Mama on Twitter?
I think I think Twitter shortens it, but I think it actually is. When I put it in, it was longer, but it is. So if you just at least do the first couple, if you try to find, and now if you start doing it, you'll find it.
It should pop up.
Yeah.
Cool. Again, really love y'all's and you and Spectra's input to the panel today, man. It's good stuff. Hell Monkey, do you want to plug? You want to tell people what you do?
Yeah, I'll be back on the news this week on our channel after my sabbatical, shall we say. I'll be back tomorrow with the roundup, and hopefully I'll have the next episode of the free-to-play GFN series coming. Probably should be ready Monday if you want to put that out then. That's sort of halfway done actually. Other than that, just check out everyone on the panel. Everyone does their own thing. They've got their own thing going, and you know they put a lot of hard work in. So yeah, if you can spare some time, check everyone out. That'd be brilliant.
Good to have you back, Monkey, for sure. So Ray, and
I've been good too, man. I've been nice. I've been real nice. I've been real nice.
You have been, man. Shout outs to you. I see him poking, man. But
honestly, my phone's blowing up. His mom is like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "Yo, I'm on Ace's show with the panel and everybody. Like, come on." But
man.
Oh, that's great. Great way to end it, man. Great way to end it. But appreciate you guys. This was fun. We'll catch you guys next week. Till next time, fellas. Peace out. Oh, man.